She's alleging the 12-year affair with you.
That allegation is false.
You know, I'm not sitting here as some little woman standing by my man like Tammy Wynette. I'm sitting here because I love him.
And for added drama, a light fell off the wall and nearly hit them.
You know, an average person, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Ooh.
But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say, let them have it.
U.S. President Donald Trump has labeled the Jeffrey Epstein files boring as accusations of a cover-up continue to mount.
He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't.
Trump Attorney General Pam Bondi teased a full release of the evidence, even at one point suggesting a client list was on her desk. But last week, an FBI and Department of Justice memo said no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted.
Girl, so much is happening in the world. Maureen Comey was just fired from her job as an attorney general at the Department of Justice. So basically, she was an AG in federal court. She was the lead attorney in the Diddy trial. She led the trial for Ghislaine Maxwell, and she was also one of the attorneys on Jeffrey Epstein's case, who we all know. Girl, it's been 6 years and we're still talking about Jeffrey Epstein. He is a very salacious person, basically. And so Maureen was just fired. So a lot of people are speculating because she got a L in the Diddy trial. Even though he was convicted on the lesser charges. The big win would have been the RICO. And so she didn't get that. So a lot of people are speculating because she didn't get that big win, and a lot of people, you know, a lot of taxpayer dollars went into this. This was a very long trial, about a month-long trial, and she didn't bring it home. This is not to say she's a bad attorney, because I've heard only fabulous things as far as her being a prosecutor, being an attorney general. So the question posed is, like, was she fired because of the Diddy trial, or was she fired for something more nefarious? At this time, we don't know the actual reason or why she was fired. But a lot of people are just speculating it could be from Diddy. I personally do not think that she was fired because of the Diddy trial. I think it's easy to blame it and place blame on the Diddy trial, but I think it could have been possibly because of her father, James Comey. So her father, James Comey, was the FBI director, or the director of the FBI for the Obama administration in 2016, and then he was also Trump's FBI, director, FBI, whatever, in 2017 until Donald Trump fired him. And since then, it has been a riff-raff between James Comey and also Donald Trump. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I know this is kind of like all over the place. So I'm going to try to just make it make sense. Because Jeffrey Epstein is in here somewhere, right? So I'm going to read an article before I go into the tangent. So let's see. Let me pull up an article. I had the New York Times pulled up on my phone, but girl, you know you got to pay for the New York Times, so... Okay, so I'm going to go to the New York Post. So basically it says, Maureen Comey, daughter of ex-FBI director James, fired from the top U.S., at attorney office job after working on Diddy and Epstein's case. See, Epstein is all up in this, girl. So it just says, Maureen, the daughter of former FBI director James Comey, was fired Wednesday from the powerful Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office, where she prosecuted Jeffrey Epstein, his accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell, and most recently P. Diddy, like we talked about. So within the last 14 hours, it says the reason for Comey's fire, which law enforcement and Department of Justice sources confirmed, was not immediately clear. She was informed that she was being axed under Article 2 of the Constitution, which describes the powers of the president. So that's why a lot of people are speculating. Was she terminated because of her ties with her father? And so I also saw another article, and I didn't click on it and didn't read it, but apparently James Comey was being followed by Secret Service about 9 days ago. So the article goes on to say that President Trump has a long history of conflict with the elder Comey, James Comey, her father, and fired him as the FBI director in 2017 during Trump's first term. Maureen Comey served as an assistant U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York since 2015, so the past 10 years, almost at 5. She worked on the prosecutions of disgraced financier Epstein and Maxwell, who was found guilty of multiple crimes at a trial, and she was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Girl, let's see. I don't want to read the whole thing. So she was fired by Pam Bondi. Girl, this is just crazy. Let's just read the whole article. So she worked on, we all know, Diddy's trial. And so it states, after the nearly month-long trial ended, the jury acquitted the disgraced hip-hop mogul P. Diddy of the most serious charges against him, which was the RICO charge, racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking that could have gave Diddy life in prison. So he was only found guilty of the transportation to engage in prostitution. And so a spokesperson for the Southern District of New York declined to comment Wednesday. The White House did not respond to a request for comment. And so the firing is an effort by the DOJ to distract from its failures on Epstein, the J6 pipe bomb, Butler's assassination plot, and an ongoing whistleblower retaliation, former FBI agent turned whistleblower Steve Friend said. Removing Maureen Comey 6 months into the administration is like a fire department hiring an arsonist and expecting applause when they fired him after he's already been burned down a city block. Too little, too late. They are desperate for a win and distraction. The Comey-Brennan case is a distraction. They'll never get charged. It's a way for congressmen to have hearings, Friend added, referring to the FBI investigation of former CIA Director John Brennan and James Comey for potential criminal conduct related to the 2016 Trump-Russia collusion probe. And so that was another thing why Donald Trump was mad, because James Comey was very vocal about this. So the Epstein firestorm was revived last week after the Justice Department and FBI concluded in a memo that the convicted Jeffrey Epstein, who was a convicted, 66, unalived himself in a Manhattan jail cell in August of 2019, and he did not keep a list of wealthy and powerful clients to whom he trafficked underage, So, that conclusion sparked a storm of backlash from top MAGA personalities who suspected that Trump administration wasn't being fully upfront about the Epstein.
No, it's I call it the Epstein hoax. It takes a lot of time and effort. Instead of talking about the great achievements we've had, a great gentleman yesterday, as you know, went on CNBC and he made the statement that Trump may go down as the greatest president of all in the United States. And instead of talking about the things we've achieved, we've had tremendous achievement. They're wasting their time with a guy who obviously had some very serious problems, who died 3-4 years ago. I'd rather talk about the success we have with the economy, the best we've ever had, and all of the things we've done, including the Middle East. I mean, you see it. Instead, they want to talk about the Epstein hoax. And the sad part is it's people that are really doing the Democrats' work. They're stupid people. Yeah, go ahead.
These files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden information.
President, your daughter-in-law said that there should be transparency in the Epstein case. Do you agree with this, sir?
The Attorney General's handled that very well. She's really done a very good job. And I think that when you look at it, you'll understand that. I would like to see that also. But I think the Attorney General, the credibility is very important. And you want credible evidence for something like that. And I think the Attorney General's handled it very well. On what? On the on what? On what subject? Okay. A very quick briefing. Yeah.
She told you, what did she tell you about you? And specifically, she told you at all that your name on the hearing.
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, these files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden information. We went through years of that with the Russia hoax. with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
Because if you know, about 48 to 72 hours ago, Donald Trump said there is no Epstein file. He said it was a hoax, and he blamed he blamed Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and also James Comey and Democrats basically for spearheading this conspiracy theory and saying there is no Epstein file, which a lot of the MAGA, which I was like, no, it was not the Democrats that was more so saying this. This was your supporters, a lot of Republicans, a lot of MAGA people who were asking for the release of the Epstein files. And so, you know, could it be that the president could be a part of the Epstein files or on that list? Because we have seen pictures of Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein in the 90s, and they apparently had a falling out. So a lot of people are upset, and he's deflecting. And so, like, there's a lot of distraction, a lot of deflection going on. But a lot of people were calling for a Marine to basically kind of be fired before all of this even happened, y'all. So this is, okay, so in the article it states that today the DOJ fired Maureen Comey from the United States Attorney's Office from the Southern District of New York. Someone posted on Twitter after the news broke. And, quote, this comes 2 months after my pressure campaign on Pam Bondi to fire Comey's daughter and Comey's son-in-law from the DOJ. Loomer has claimed that, I can't say this name, Eisencroft, I don't know who that is, I'm sorry, who has worked in the Southern District of New York Civil Division since 2019, has a long history of being a Trump hater. No word yet on whether or not he was also fired, but he should be. +1 for Bondi today, Loomer cheered. Girl, this is a lot. Trump has since spent days dismissing Epstein's case as a big hoax concocted by the Democrats for political gain and blasting suspicious GOP members for being duped by their colleagues on the other side of the political aisle. The president has also lashed out, pressing the country and news reporters to stop focusing on the notorious predator. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will. Even after being connected by the lunatic left for 8 long years, Trump rallied on Truth Social Wednesday. I've had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in our country's history. And all these people want to talk about was strong prodding by the fake news, and the success star of Dems is Jeffrey Epstein's hoax. It's not a hoax, Mr. President. My whole thing is Ghislaine Maxwell went to trial. She was convicted, sentenced to 20 years in prison for trafficking, sex trafficking. Who were the people that was giving these people, these underage children? Who were the people? That's what we want to know. Who are these people running the world? Are these people in high power positions so we can know who to cancel? Who needs to go to trial? Are you trying to protect yourself? Who are you trying to protect? Maybe there's not a list, but they had a clientele. We want to know who were the clienteles. It's not a hoax. You're not going to piss on me and tell me it's rain. Okay? We want to know. Anyways, let me know what you guys' thoughts and comments are on this whole matter. It is a shame that such a very talented prosecutor had to lose her job because of the current administration that we have, seemingly trying to cover up the Epstein case and call it a hoax. It's a shame that she got caught up in this political war that we have going on in America. I don't think it's because of P. Diddy. I think it's easy to blame it on P. Diddy. Let me know what you think. Bye.